In an apparently very painful moment on Tuesday evening, an elderly woman who appears suffering from age-related bending and muscle weakness known medically as kyphosis could be seen struggling and battling helplessly for the safety of her own life as a group of terrorists invaded and took over a church in Nigeria. The worshippers of Christ Apostolic Church, CAC, were attacked during their church service that was live-streamed on social media platforms, and the video live coverage captured the moment the elderly woman was moving from one hideout to another, hiding under table, trying to move fast and run for safety alongside others before the terrorists, who also parked the worshippers' belongings, intercepted the camera device that was live streaming the church service and probably destroyed the device. The attack, according to Evangelical Church Winning All, ECWA News Media, known as ECWA Nationwide Gist. The attackers were Islamic terrorists and they invaded the church located at Eruku community, a border town with Kogi State in the Ekiti local government area of Kwara State around 5 p.m. on Tuesday evening, killing 3 worshippers at the spot and kidnapped several Christian worshippers in the church including the presiding pastor. The ECWA News Media has reported in recent days that the attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria is growing almost higher on daily basis, specifically stating that Reverend Father, Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, under the command and control of the President and Commander-in-Chief, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has kept mum since early morning night on Monday when a MAG news agency, the international media outlet of the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP, started sending and disseminating a photograph of Brigadier General Musa Uba in ISWAP captivity, indicating untrue. The Brigadier General the Nigerian Army Authority had earlier claimed on Saturday to be safe and led his troops back to base. A statement the Army issued to challenge media reports that the Brigadier General was captured and held captive by the ISWAP terrorists after the terrorists ambushed the 25 Task Force Brigade of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, killing several soldiers and civilian JTF members in Wajiroko village near Sambisa Forest in Borno State on Friday around 5 p.m. This Humangal News Media, that was among the earliest news providers that reported the ISWAP deadly attacks on Nigeria soldiers on Saturday, after being challenged with a denial press release issued by the Nigerian Army Authority that the Brigadier General was not kidnapped, claiming the Brigadier General led his men to fought through the ambush of the terrorists, forcing the terrorists to flee in disarray. Humangal on Monday early morning published a news report and insisted that the Brigadier General was in. United Nigeria Airlines confirmed in a statement issued a few minutes ago that 2 popular Nigeria social media influencers, Martins Vincent Otts aka Veridagman and Freedom Okpitritz Atsboy aka Mr. Jollof, were deplaned and handed over to Asaba International Airport Police Authority for investigation after the 2 celebrities goes physical with each other inside the United Nigeria Airlines aircraft as the plane was about to depart from Asaba to Lagos early morning on Monday. In a press release issued and made available by the airline's public relations officer, Chibuike Uloka, the United Nigeria Airlines confirms that an altercation occurred between 2 passengers, identified as Martins Vincent Otts, Veridagman, and Freedom Okpitritz Atsboy, Mr. Jollof, during the boarding of Flight UNO 523 at Asaba International Airport on the morning of the 17th of November 2025. In full compliance with global aviation safety protocols, our crew responded immediately and professionally to de-escalate the situation. Both passengers were deboarded without delay to ensure the safety, comfort, and security of all other passengers and crew members. They were subsequently handed over to airport security for further investigation. United Nigeria Airlines places the highest priority on safety and maintains a zero-tolerance policy for any conduct, politics of obvious and apparent personal vendetta among some youths in Edo State, which has been ongoing for years, most especially since the immediate former governor of the state, Godwin Obaseki, left office on November 12, 2024, took a new twist on Sunday night in the city of Manchester in the United Kingdom, as a yet-to-be properly identified man walked into an event hall where the former governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his wife, Betty, were scheduled to meet Edo people. and attacked one of their main political and media supporters, Obaze, who probably had been in the bad books of some Edo youth's sequel to his ways of always defending the ex-governor Obaseki and exchanging words with those against the ex-governor. Videos made available online indicated that Obaze was attacked while he was live streaming the event on Facebook and other social media platforms as guests were coming in and waiting for the arrival of the former Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, and his wife, Betty. Initially, the suspected attacker walked up to the victim and asked to have a conversation with him, saying, "I am the double chief you are looking for, come let's talk," but Obaze refused and replied to the attacker that, "You are the one looking for me." What happened? As Obaze continued to demand to know why the attacker had decided to see him, immediately, the attacker hit the victim on the face. Manchester City Police were seen alongside their vehicles. Nigerian Army Authority has confirmed the killing of 4 persons with the inclusion of 2 soldiers and 2 civilian JTF when members of the Islamic State West Africa Province ISWAP terrorists on Friday evening ambushed a brigade of Nigerian Army, personally led by the brigade commander, Brigadier General M. Uber, around Wajiroko community in Azir Multe area of Damboa local government area of Borno State, which, according to Humangle News Media, the ISWAP terrorists opened fire on a convoy of several military and civilian joint task force vehicles, causing the Brigade of the Armed Forces of Nigeria an apparent full destabilization, leading to the Brigadier General missing in action for several hours but started responding to WhatsApp messages few moments later, but the Nigerian Army Authority insisted that the Brigadier General and the commander of the 25 Task Force Brigade personally led the Nigerian Army troops back to base, after an apparent failed attempt to rescue communities that are probably still under terrorists' control in the areas close to Sambisa Forest. According to Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anil, the acting director of the Nigerian Army Public Relations, in a statement issued on Saturday, troops of 25 Task Force Brigade, on routine patrol to secure communities around Wajiroko in Azir Multe, Damboa local government area of Borno State, came under assault. President Volodymyr Zelensky has ordered the new Prime Minister of Ukraine, Yulia Sviridenko, to involve law enforcement agencies including the anti-corruption police in the mass audits of Ukraine's state-owned companies. Zelensky, who gave the order this week while in one-on-one meeting with the female Prime Minister, said, "The law enforcement agencies of Ukraine must take immediate action based on the outcome or results of the audits being initiated by Yulia Sviridenko, the current Prime Minister of Ukraine, who assumed office on July 17, 2025, after being confirmed by the Verkhovna Rada, meaning Ukraine's parliament, following President Volodymyr Zelensky's nomination of Sviridenko as part of a major government reshuffle, replacing the previous Prime Minister, Denis Shmyhal, who became the new Minister of Defense, and Sviridenko previously served as the first Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Economic Development and Trade. The new position made her the second woman in Ukraine's history to hold the position of Prime Minister. Meanwhile, during the week, Zelensky also announced that the Nordic countries, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, along with other Baltic-friendly countries of Ukraine, have decided to commit an additional $500 million to the prioritized Ukraine requirements list, Pearl Initiative, a NATO-led initiative to expedite the supply of critically needed UN. There may be good reasons at this level for the Nigeria Police Force under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetoken, to immediately invite Nigeria-serving lawmaker, Senator Prince Chinedu Nwoko aka Ned Nwoko, for questioning, over apparent reasonable and evidence-based allegations of raping a minor, child marriage, child molestation, underage voters registration, and child abuse against the person of superstar Nigerian Nollywood actress, Regina Daniels, following the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC voters card, Senator Ned Nwoko presented this morning through his verified social media profile to challenge the allegation earlier made by Regina Daniels that she was still a minor at age 17 when the serving Nigeria senator forced her into early child marriage and started having sexual activities with her. A careful study of the INEC voters card, Regina Daniels' real name or full name was not stated in the election voters' registration card that looked very questionable and manipulative. The voter's card was issued on July 23, 2018 without the bearer real father's name. The voter's card simply identified the actress as Daniels Regina Nimaka, with date of birth as October 10, 1998. This, Chius Nwoko, a family member of Senator Ned Nwoko in recent days issued a video statement wherein former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai has described the conduct and behavior of a Nigeria serving minister and former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, before a serving Nigeria soldier in the naval force as reckless and thus insulted and disrespected the person and the office of the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, after the minister had a confrontation with the naval officer with the service name, A.M. Yerima, at Plot 1946, Gudua District, Abuja, over ownership and development rights to a parcel of land allegedly linked to a former Chief of Naval Staff. This, a careful study of some video footage made available online, especially the video captured and published by Channels Television, apparently indicated that the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, physically assaulted one of the operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, that was seen protecting the minister against a potential threat of armed soldier who was on a direct viewpoint with the minister. The DSS officer proactively moved to give the armed soldier a close marking and chest up to the defense line with the armed soldier who was moving steps on a close range and direct viewpoint to the minister. But, surprisingly, the minister, in a manner that looks very disrespectful and belittling, walked up to the DSS officer and dragged him to leave the way. Professionally, the DSS operative angrily resisted Wike, well-known human rights activist and founder of the Sahara Reporters news media. Omiyele Sowore has called on the British government that the United Kingdom, UK, should immediately place a ban on Nigeria serving senator representing Delta North Senatorial District in the Red Chamber of the National Assembly, Prince Chinedu Nwoko aka Ned Nwoko, as a registered lawyer in the United Kingdom over allegations of child abuse, raping of minor and molestation allegedly committed against the person of Nigeria popular Nollywood actress Regina Daniels, after the superstar actress revealed on Sunday that she was forced into early marriage at the age of 17 by the serving Nigeria senator, which, according to Sowore, Regina Daniels at 17 was still a minor under the UK law and therefore called on the Law Society of England and Wales to be alerted, and the Solicitors Regulation Authority, SRA, must begin disciplinary proceedings before the Independent Solicitors Disciplinary Tribunal, SDT, determined Senator Ned Nwoko fitness to still practice law in the UK, while Sowore stated this earlier on Sunday. On Monday evening, Sowore raised alarm of fresh plans by the serving Nigeria senator, Ned Nwoko, to allegedly block the release of the detained Regina Daniels' brother, Samuel Ejegwu aka Sammy West, and arrest his mother-in-law, Regina Daniels' mother, Nigeria superstar actress who has been in the news since she got married to a man many said was old enough to be her grandfather. Regina Daniels on Sunday early morning night revealed that she was married to the Nigeria senator representing Delta North, Prince Chinedu Nwoko aka Ned Nwoko, as a minor at the age of 17, a statement that allegedly accused the serving senator, Ned Nwoko, of apparent serious crime of child abuse, raping of minor, child molestation and forced child marriage, because Nigeria constitution stipulates 18 years of age for someone to be considered old enough to be able to consent to marriage or sexual activities, and any sexual activity with a minor. The older person is presumed, according to the Nigeria constitution, as a criminal suspect who took advantage of the minor and liable for child abuse and other related crimes. Although Senator Ned Nwoko is a Muslim by religion, a careful study of the Nigeria laws indicated that Islamic law is only binding on Muslim and not Muslim and Christian or people from other religions. We are also aware that both of them are from Delta State in the south-south geopolitical zone of Nigeria that is predominantly Christians, that practices 18 years as a statutory and customary age requirement for someone to be considered old enough to give his or her voluntary consent for marriage and other forms of sexual activities. This, last month, serving Nigeria Senator, Prince Chinedu Nwoko, well known as Nedo Nwoko, has listed and narrated some of the things he has done for the family of his absconded fourth wife, Regina Daniels, particularly stating that his mother-in-law, Regina Daniels' mother, Rita, received 125 million nairas from him in the past 2 years alone, apparently challenging the mother-in-law earlier media statement that none of the senator's children looked like a child of a billionaire, and that she on her own spent her hard-earned money to support the senator's election, in addition to the $50,000 Regina Daniels gave to the 65-years-old Muslim husband from the southern part of Nigeria. Outside that, Senator Ned Nwoko apparently tried to explain why his brother-in-law, Sammy, was arrested and detained after his wife, Regina Daniels, ran away from her matrimonial home and decided to end the marriage with the serving Nigeria senator on the ground of domestic violence, intimidation and oppression that made her look like nothing in the house of the senator, who she swiftly replied yesterday that Ned Nwoko never married her legally, and she was apparently still a minor at age 17 when the Nigeria serving senator allegedly forced her into early marriage. Details of Regina Daniels' statements and the legal implications will be reported and published in our next news report for proper clarification and understanding. Indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has said that the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has not forfeited his rights to defend himself before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, after the judge, Justice James Omotosho, ruled on Friday and stated that Nnamdi Kanu's rights to enter defense has been forfeited and thereafter fixed November 20, 2025 for judgment, as Nnamdi Kanu was seen to have staged a defensive confrontation with aggressive loud voice, challenging the court that the federal government allegations against him has no legal basis or any aspect of the Nigeria law that backs such allegations. This, Barrister Oloyejimako, the organizing lawyer for the detained Biafra Republic agitation leader, had on Wednesday said in a written and video statement posted on his X social media account that Nnamdi Kanu is competent enough to defend himself, especially given the political elements in the case which he understands better than any lawyer. In a press release issued and made available on Friday, IPOB, in the statement signed by Emma Powerful, said it strongly condemns the new round of fake news being pushed by certain Nigerian media outlets. The false claim that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has forfeited his right to defense in the ongoing trial before Justice James Kolawole Omotosho of the Federal High Court, Abuja, is a desperate
bringing you the news in a more digital way.